Well, on three, we're going to get this thing cracking, all right?
Yeah, let's get it.
1, 2, and 3. Welcome, everybody, for episode 2 of the Drum Iowa podcast with yours truly, Myquan Bailey. I'm here with our gracious co-host, Ashley Kay.
Hello.
All right. And our esteemed guest, the Councilwoman, Waterloo Councilwoman, Miss Nia Wilder. Welcome.
Hello, everyone.
Welcome in the building. We appreciate you.
Thank you.
We do appreciate you. We got so much to unpack, lots to talk about. So let's jump right on into it. The very first thing I want to talk about really quick is Ashley.
Yes.
This is your first episode as co-host.
It is.
Right?
So
Last time we had Jalen.
Yeah.
So I'm pumped.
You guys got it off to a beautiful start.
Didn't we though?
You did.
He did.
So
When I was looking at the footage, I was like, we got the right person. He brings such great energy to the. He is, so we're very fortunate to have him participating in this with us. So, real quick, talk to us a little bit about some of the projects you got going on. About how long you've been in the area. Let's start there.
Yeah. Well, let's see. We've been around in Cedar Valley for 10-ish years or so. So not native here, but boy, have we made it home and really enjoyed not only growing our family here, but expanding personally and doing some healing work in the community. So right now I've got a couple events coming up, one of which you'll be bringing some drumming to, the Cedar Valley Arboretum and Botanic Gardens, which is just gorgeous if you haven't been. We are going to be doing a healing circle coming up on the 26th, and then I've got another one July 18th, I believe it is, which such a peaceful setting.
For sure. My very first experience out there was your event. Did you know
Was
that?
it really?
It was.
I didn't realize that.
That was my very first experience out there. And the gardens, the rose gardens and all of that, I didn't even know it was out there.
It's kind of a hidden gem.
It is. Really. It is. And we have a lot of hidden gems around here that a lot of people don't know too much about, which is one of the cool things about this podcast. We're going to be unveiling some of those hidden gems. So if you are in Black Hawk County, or if you will be in Black Hawk County, be sure to pop out for that.
Yes.
I know I'll be there. The last one was really a lot of fun. Cedar Valley, Iowa. If you guys are in the area, feel free to pop out.
There's something about reconnecting to your inner sense of peace when you're reconnecting with nature, right? You guys touched on that last episode as well.
That's right.
Yeah. I've got the Heal and Rise magazine, which issue number 8 is coming out on summer solstice, which is June 20th.
Yes.
It's a digital magazine to uplift and empower, and there's some great articles. One of my favorites is the Her Story feature, because growing up we learned a lot about history from a standpoint of the male perspective, and also a lot about wars and stuff that maybe wasn't the most positive experience of being human. And so each issue features at least one, sometimes a few, women's stories of their own healing and rising, which has been so cool.
Nia Wilder, how you feeling?
I feel good.
All
the
right.
energy feels good in here. When I was downstairs, Ashley welcomed me with the warmest of hugs. I feel like this is exactly where I was supposed to be. It feels great.
That's what's up.
I feel great.
That's what's up. And my first question for you, given your role and what you do on a day-to-day, talk to us a little bit about your moment when you said, I want to get into city government. I want to benefit my community in a meaningful way.
Before I became an elected official, I was and still do photography, videography. I mentor at-risk youth and their families. So getting involved in politics, first I'll say, was never on my radar. Not even a little bit, just because I always considered myself to be a creative. Even when there were problems, I had a creative solution.
Okay.
And to throw this out there, I'm Black, I'm gay, I have locks. Why would you want someone like me to run for city council? Because everyone that was on the council were older. And I didn't see where y'all, I'm like, wait, me? Are you sure? Yeah. And I'm thankful that it was brought around to me, because we always have those things. It's like we have imposter syndrome, where we'll find all of the reasons as to why we aren't supposed to be doing something, when those are the exact reasons that we're supposed to be doing it.
That's right.
And so once I kind of got out of my head a little bit and I realized that I'm already out here making the difference within the families and within the community, me running for city council only makes sense, because now I can get us at the bigger table where we're making a larger impact.
Well, hey, I voted for you, by the way. I definitely voted for you. And I'm really pleased with the work that you're doing down at City Hall. I'm really pleased with all of our friends down at City Hall.
Absolutely.
I think they're doing a bang up job.
Absolutely.
Of course, we're not perfect, and we're not a certain perfection, but I think the folks down there have really good intention when it comes to this community, and bringing this community into a place of growth and strength.
Yeah, and I will say, like, with me being on city council, every single council person has Waterloo's best interest in mind. There isn't one person that I talked to that was in it for themselves or, in it for the wrong reasons. They all ask the questions of, okay, well, how is this going to improve the people? How are we spending the money? Like, I just really can appreciate everyone's dynamic, and we're all different.
Right.
And that's what I love the best, because we all come up with different solutions. It's like Captain America. Do you remember that, when they all had their own superpowers? And
the Legion
put their rings in, and then they just became this mega power. That's how I feel with our city council. We're all different, but when we come together, it's
the Justice
beautiful.
League.
There you go.
That was their name.
Is that what it
they
was?
They were the Justice League.
I can't
so
remember
when you had
all the
Superman
powers.
and I forget,
They had,
70s
like,
babies, help me out. Put it in the comment. Yeah, you're right. They had the rings, and then when they got together, Wonder Woman was one of them. But yeah, they were cold-blooded.
That's exactly what happens, right?
Yeah. That's what's supposed to happen.
Potential is amplified when we bring it together and support.
That's right.
I love that.
I really applaud you guys' generation, and I've said this before, and I said it to Jalen last time when we were together. You're jumping out there to try to find answers to mental health questions, and I really applaud you for it, because our generation, we smoked our problems away, we drank them away, we bottled them up.
So that's the problem. Like, my generation is starting to do that.
Okay.
Like, I think that alcohol is really starting to take a heavier role in households, and just other ways to nullify the things that we deal with, rather than attacking the problems head on. And so I think that's starting to happen, trying to curb that.
Right. I think the thing that differentiates you guys' generation from ours is it's okay to have people champion that and to champion those changes and those interventions, whereas in our generation, it wasn't cool to champion those kind of things. You were considered to be weak or somehow not cool.
Yeah.
So, wow, and something about alcohol, isn't it? It never went away.
No, alcoholism is real.
Yeah.
I mean, especially when you live in a community where you can walk to a liquor store. I mean, they're everywhere.
I don't want the people at home to think that
no offense
I'm bashing
to anyone
alcohol or anybody having a drink. Anything in excess is not good for you. We know that.
Right.
And this is what we're talking about. If you decide to partake in what you partake in responsibly, hey, it is what it is,
do
right?
What you do.
You do what you do. We're talking about the folks who are really struggling with addiction and really struggling from being able to maintain meaningful lives.
And you want another option.
Yeah.
Like, you want to do something else.
Pills now is another big thing that's really kind of rocking this generation.
Yeah. I mean, it's really kind of almost like anything to
cope,
not feel, to cope, and just to be okay. Like, I have a lot of friends that are dealing with things, and everyone handles their pain and their trauma differently. And a lot of people don't know how to take it in and then just let it out in a way that isn't harmful. And I don't blame them for that. I want them to be around more things that feel good for them.
Yeah.
So they can have those outlets.
All the more important for those opportunities, right?
Absolutely.
For education and just community of like, hey, this is a safe space to be
it's
vulnerable.
Okay to hurt, to feel, to do. Like, I am a crybaby. I will cry right now. I will do that.
Something we share.
If you can cry on demand, you might be in the wrong profession. If you can cry on demand,
I
we
can
might need
cry
to
on
get you
demand.
in front
Please do
of
not
Oh,
test
look how
this.
cute.
an
But,
acting
like,
gig
I
or
will
something.
cry for sure, and there's no shame in that. And I'm like, I should get a crybaby chain just so people can feel more comfortable with me.
Crybaby Che.
Yeah, just letting those tears out, let them flow. It's okay.
But my on what you said generationally, we watched that, right? We watched the pain of the generation before, feeling like they had to
Hold everything
mask
in.
it and
Yeah.
hold it
Yeah.
all together and not know really those tools of
Mhm.
expressing or feel comfortable doing
And not
it.
deal with it,
that's-
yeah.
that's-
That's a learned behavior. That's something that we learned, our generation learned from the generation before it, and so on and so forth. And I think we're at a really cool place in history where, because it starts with the youth, right? The young people have to get in front of it. It has to be cool. Because if it's not cool, it's just a bunch of old farts talking about stuff, right? So it's
You gotta
got to
make
be
it cool if it's not
exactly.
cool.
You got to
So
make
we're
it
making
cool.
crying cool.
Exactly. I can dig it. I can sure enough dig it. So hey, kind of shifting gears, but staying in the same, bucket, if you will. Coping is a big thing. Being able to cope, being able to get through the day to day in a meaningful way to where we're feeling productive is a big thing. And we all cope differently. And we're talking about negative coping mechanisms. What do you guys got any tips for the folks at home on things that you do to cope on a day to day that help you?
Okay. I guess some of the things that I do to cope is, you guessed it, cry. I feel like soul showers are very much necessary.
For sure.
And so one of the things that I do to kind of get myself through things is I cry. I listen to music, whether that be mindful music or whether that be gospel. They both give me a good refill. I'm trying to get myself up to, like how you said, getting in tune with nature. I am not an outside girl. Bugs make me itch.
it's been real this
Grass makes me itch. So coping outside is not for me, only because it makes me itch. But I'm
Maybe you
getting
need to
there.
find a type of environment,
Yes.
right? Oh,
No grass, no bugs.
Okay.
Maybe we need to take her to Proceeds Fest. Proceeds Fest in August.
Oh, yeah.
Baby steps until August, and we get her out there.
Yeah.
I like it.
So that's my coping is I allow myself to feel whatever I'm going through, just so it doesn't get too heavy on me.
Mm-hmm.
I just allow myself to feel it, go through it. I pray through it. And even if that requires a full-fledged breakdown, I'm just gonna let myself have that time and be done with it when I'm done with it.
Right.
I think so often we're kind of like our impulse is to move away, right? Oh, this feeling is deep, it's uncomfortable. I'm going to go this way, which only makes it 10 times bigger, right?
Go
So
into
embrace,
it.
go into it.
Yes.
I think that's great. I'm sure you also cope with creativity, right?
Absolutely. So whether it be music, whether it be dance, whether it be making some product at the Spark Lot, just anything to keep myself busy. And not necessarily keep my mind off of it, but just remembering that I do have other things to offer as well outside of my pain,
And there's a magic of that, like transmuting energy into something beautiful. Like, okay, I'm going to take this pain and I'm going to create some beautiful music or art,
Absolutely.
whatever. That's powerful stuff.
How do you cope with that?
That's a big part of it.
Mm-hmm.
I also, dance is a huge part. You mentioned Proceeds Fest. Do a little shout out for Danielle Eastman and Aya Dance Meditation, which if you have not done, you can do both locally and online. But dance, physical movement has always been such a part of that for me. I know it's human, right? That's part of our human experience to express physically, but also, arts in all forms, probably. Writing.
Well, I hate to be the damper of the group, but I've never been able to dance.
That's not a damper.
That's
I've never
actually,
been a dancer. Like
You
even
have
in
rhythm?
parties, I have rhythm.
Oh, well,
but
there
like
you go. All you need is
dancing,
some rhythm.
like
I was actually going to say, I'm going to invite you to look at that differently because I've seen you dance.
Boom.
You dance with your hands anytime you pick up the phone.
Wow.
So my hands can dance.
Your hands.
So that's
We gotta get all the rest of the stuff to get with the But no, but seriously, I think again, I keep going back to these old stories. We didn't dance in parties.
What did you do?
Wait, what?
We stood on the wall and we bobbed our head to the beat. We were too cool to dance, and we were too cool. And the cool. And here's the thing about it: all those guys who were really good dancers and had a good time. Well, that's a generalization. I can't say that. I think they had a nicer time. I'll put it this way. They had a funner time. Exactly. So that might have a little bit to do with why my dancing skills are a bit inhibited. But
we're gonna break you free of that.
Well, we get you in the woods. We get you in the woods on the to Proceeds Fest. Then maybe I'll cut a rug.
I have so much bug spray. It doesn't work for the gnats. The gnats don't care.
Yeah, and they do bite.
They do, and I have.
And then ticks are bad. Yeah, for real. I mean, she ain't lying.
I'll try.
And the ticks are bad, and
everything.
All that
and
stuff.
I have locks. I have a thing about what if like a spider.
But I'll tell you something, and Ashley is probably gonna get me for saying this, but I'm gonna say it anyway. You probably don't like deep. Right, you don't like off. You don't put the off on for the kids.
Here's
You're probably
the
one
deal.
of those folks, right?
I do the essential oils until until you gotta bring out the and sometimes when you're in the middle of the woods, actually, you know what? You talk about coping. We just did a nature therapy walk with Hartman. That was so good, and it was interesting because the mosquitoes want to pull you out, right? They want to pull you out of the mindfulness, and yet it's like a mental activity.
Forgive me because I would have not been mindful around.
I'm trying.
I would have been in the car itching and freaking out. I'm not gonna lie.
But along the river, right? Where the amphitheater is and where we got these nice events, you gotta breeze off the river and we're good. Right?
Yeah, they don't really bother me down there.
They're good
at
down
the amphitheater.
there.
Yeah.
So,
but I got a funny beat story.
Let's hear it.
Yeah, we're gonna get her out. I'm gonna cut a rug and we're gonna get her out. And you don't have to spend the night. That's the cool thing about Proceeds.
Oh, y'all sleeping out there?
Yeah, we sleep. We go hard. It's a camp out. But you can come for the day. You can do a day pass. You can,
or come just for whatever.
Yeah. But anyhow, my funny beat story. Here's a funny beat story. So I was with a friend of mine once, and we were hiking, and I didn't realize that there were some people that are really anti-off and deep to the point to where if you bring some off to the function with deep in it, it's like you might as well smoke a cigarette. It's like because they use different like you said, more essential stuff, and there's a couple of really more eco-friendly different, and they're probably better. But the drawback is they don't kill those bugs like they do.
And it doesn't work. I got an eco-friendly one, and I still got bit up.
Yeah, I can't do that. I mean,
it just smells good.
I agree with your statement. It works until it doesn't work anymore.
Yeah.
When it gets to the point to where, okay, this ain't happening, I got to bring out the nuclear deep.
Gotta do y'all like that, and I'm sorry.
That's my funny deep story. So I'll start with it depends on where we at and how intense it is. We'll start all natural, but if it gets crazy, my client is bringing out the deep. I'm warning you. I have to. So that's my one condition if we're hanging out together.
If I get bit by a mosquito, you don't want to see it.
No, I don't want to see none of that. I want to see everybody feeling good and going home at the end of the day. All that. Which brings me to my next piece. Community Drum Circle and Fire in Marshalltown, 6 p.m. on June 22nd. That's a cool collaborative event that we have going on with the good folks down in Marshalltown. It's going to be a lot of fun. Those of you who are down there, we look forward to hanging out with you. Those of you who are up here and are looking for a change, feel free to pile in and we can caravan down there all together and have a good old time. June 24th, we'll be at the Iowa City Public Library hanging out with the kiddos. We have a youth event there. It's going to be a lot of fun from 1 to 2. I did get some feedback. People were questioning why I was in the middle of the week at 1 o'clock p.m. Well, the logic there for good people is we're thinking about the kids. The kids are out of school right now. They're bored. They don't have things to do. Let them tell it. Now, as us adults, we know they have plenty to do, right? Now, we know they got stuff to do, but let them tell it. They're bored. They ain't got nothing to do. So we wanted to make sure they had an activity during the day that they could come out and maybe get a parents a little bit of respite too.
That's a good
Take the
idea.
kids to the drum circle, and I'll go have a coffee with the homegirls. Not me, but I'm thinking as a mom, put my mom hat on.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's gonna be a lot of fun. And then to wrap up June, we will be up in Decorah at the Will Baker Park. That's gonna be a lot of fun because the landscape there is just a whole vibe. We love it up there. The people are amazing. I really love the way that that the Chamber of Commerce up there really works together to foster all of those young businesses and young ideas. It's very similar to what we got going on down here in Waterloo with our, with our Chamber of Commerce folks and our folks in the downtown area. They're really trying to revitalize what we got going on. So, big shout out to the folks up in Decorah and here in Waterloo as well for those efforts because it's not easy. When you're competing with online shops and you're competing with bigger chains and all of that stuff, it's tough to keep things local. So big shout out to everybody who was really actively involved in that endeavor. All right. It's been real. It's been real. What else did I forget? It feels like that I forgot a whole lot of something, but that's the cool thing about next time.
If we did episode 3, everybody.
Yeah, next episode 3 we can.
Yeah, and
we
invite
can,
me back so I can.
Oh, you definitely gonna come back. You definitely coming back. Big shout out to Nia Wilder, because I know it's a tough job. When you're trying to foster a community, it's not easy, and it's easy for people to stand on the sidelines, talk the talk, and you're out there walking the walk. So big shout out to you
Thank
and
you.
everything that you do. We appreciate you for the town.
Thank you.
Ashley, it was nice, but we're not going to have you hang out with us anymore. You wish. You wish. We will see you next time. Oh, before we get up out of here really quick, the next episode 3, we will have Matt Gilbert from the Waterloo Historical Preservation Society here in Waterloo, talking about all these cool interventions that we got going on with some of these buildings and a host of other people. Keep it locked to the Drum Iowa podcast. If you have an idea, if you have something that needs to be addressed, and again, if you just want to foster drumming in your community, feel free to reach out. That's what we're here for, fostering drumming in your local communities. Oh, and before I go, I want to say one more thing. I know I'm saying I keep forgetting, and then I keep remembering. So here's the one thing I want to do. I was talking to a friend of mine, and she said to me, well, who all is involved in Drum Iowa? And I found it to be such an intriguing question because my answer to her was, what do you mean? Everybody that is fostering drum culture, coming out to a drum circle in their local community is Drum Iowa. And that's what this is. You know what I mean? That's what we are. I'm just hanging out at these places, soaking in the energy and the vibes from all of these good people. So again, you all are Drum Iowa. You are Drum Iowa. Every time you come out to a drum circle and pick up a drum, a rattle, a shaker, or whatever, you're doing your Drum Iowa thing. And we appreciate you. So we're going to keep doing our thing. And we'll talk to you next time with Matt Gilbert and Jalen Jones. Until then, keep it locked. Deuces. And cut.
Nice.
Bloopers.
Quick bloopers because you're going to watch me run down the street.